Hello and welcome to Nowurlearning eCenter and eSolutions. In this tutorial we're going to look at my Gradebook student records. After a successful login you'll be redirected to the home panel, and in front of you you'll have 5 modules: my staff records, student records, my Gradebook training, and help desk. Also off to the left in the menu you have the same links in the same order: staff records, student records, my Gradebook, the training, help desk, and log out. So let's go ahead and click on student records. From this page you can view your students. So if you select an ID and click search, you'll have their profile, their enrollment status, enrollment date, class, and teacher, and book that they started in. You can have their current schedule and view in front of you, their ALCPT scores, as well as their book test scores throughout the year. If you are starting this from scratch and you have no students in your database, you would click here where it says Upload Student Records. And once you have created your large Excel file, you would save that as a CSV file with 15 columns, and it gives you the headers here. But again, do not save your CSV file with these headers, otherwise those headers will enter into the database. And make sure when you are filling out the Excel file, you don't have to include all this information, but you have to account for those columns. So say we have from student ID to email, but we're going to skip the enrollment date and the status. Just keep those 2 columns empty, and on the third one you would start with the enrollment room, and so on and so forth until you finish with the last one. Now say we have already information in the database, but we want to make a large edit. So the first thing we'd want to do is download our current student records, make any of the changes that we need to make to that, and then we'd empty out our student record database by clicking this red button, and then we'd upload that new file to our database to give us an updated version of our student records. Now say you want to add a student one by one, you would simply come to the left menu and click here where it says Add New Student, and you would enter in the information that is required for that database and click Add Record, and you would add that student. If you need to edit a student's information, go back to the left menu, click Edit Student, select his ID, search, and his information will pull up in front of you. Make sure that's the student you would like to work on, and then make any edit that you need to make, and then submit those changes. If you would like to delete a student, come back to the menu, click on Delete Student. Again, search for that student that you would like to delete, and make sure that's the right one, and then delete him. Now say you have a student you don't want to delete, but you wanted to remove him out of some record keeping, especially during testing days. You don't want that student to pop up because he's not attending the school anymore, but you do not want to delete his file. You would simply come to Edit Student, select that student, and where it says here current status, instead of enrolled, you would just write in withdrawn. Once he's labeled as withdrawn, he will not pull up in student lists when you're going to print the class list, or when you're transferring information from a grading test day. He will not show up because he will be listed as withdrawn. Okay, if you go back to Delete Student, now say you would like to not only just delete one student, you want to delete everybody. You could click here where it says delete all records, but again remember Doing so is going to empty out the database for student records. So before you do any of these major deletes, it's always better to back up your information. Again, if you would like to back up your information, just go back to where it says student records and click here where it says download student records, and it'll give you an Excel file of all your student records. Okay, now if we go back to the menu, there is one more link. It says test results. We're going to look at that in another tutorial. This one was only for student records. Any questions or comments, you can always reach us at help desk by clicking this link and sending us an e-ticket. Thank you for watching.